Shotos are by far the most popular and most played group of characters among the Street Fighter community, and more likely than not you feel one way or another towards them. Maybe you love Shotos, maybe you hate Shotos, maybe you think Kage looks stupid, maybe you think Sakura is super cute. Today we're gonna talk about which Shoto in this season feels the strongest. Now in the previous season this was pretty much a non-question, it was Akuma, right? But in this one, I feel like there is a lot of room for competition. Before we get into which Shoto is the most powerful, let's first talk about what makes a character strong in this season of Street Fighter V. The first aspect is gonna be being able to control the neutral and whiff punishing the opponent, and also getting Oki from this whiff punish on a back rise. You wanna get throw Oki on a whiff punish situation. Preferably meterless if it's possible. Realistically, I think this comes down between Ryu, Ken, Sakura and Akuma. I do think the competition is really between these four. Kage is a little bit lagging behind them in my opinion. He is still a fairly decent character, but I think even putting him in the competition of the best Shoto is a little bit of a stretch. So let's start first by checking out Ryu, right? Ryu has the slowest walk speed out of all of the Shotos. He is more designed to play a dash in, dash out mobility game and use his fireball. His fireballs are actually the best out of all of the Shotos in Street Fighter V, right? This frame data on his fireball is really good, you're even better when he's in hit trigger 1. Ryu also have okay whiff punishes. His sweep is actually a pretty fast button, so it is good for whiff punishes. And he can get the crouching heavy punch to get some good damage out of that, but it's hard to use. In general, his slow walk speed and stubby normal makes it difficult for him to play the whiff punish game. Sakura is almost the exact opposite of Ryu. She has the fastest walk speed out of all of the Shotos in this game, but she does have a weaker fireball. Her regular fireballs only travel around 2/3 of the screen. She does have the option to charge them though, and she can use that to cover her approach. They become multiple hits. Now Sakura's fireballs are still better than you would think. Her fireballs actually have better frame data than Kage's red light fireballs, so they are better. The main issue is that she doesn't have a regular meterless invincible anti-air uppercut, and that does limit her zoning options a little bit. But Sakura had amazing whiff punish potential. Because of her walk speed and normals like the standing light kick, she can comfortably whiff punish into damage. The issue is that she doesn't get Oki on a back rise. She can throw her opponent after a medium punch dragon punch, but she can still shake them with a standing heavy kick. She also has the standing heavy punch and she can use that. If you have V-skill 2, you can get some decent damage and corner carry out of that, but that is obviously harder to use. Ken is a sort of in-between of Ryu and Sakura. He is faster than Ryu but slower than Sakura, but he does have the fastest dash in the game. That is noteworthy. He also has the second best fireball game now. His fireball have 47 total frames of animation. That's even better than Akuma. And one important thing to highlight is that Ken gets Oki from his DP. So when he anti-airs, he gets rewarded. And when it comes to whiff punishes, his standing light kick is really good, and it will combo into his heavy punch DB, which will lead to Oki. He also have standing medium punch that does the same thing, and if he happen to catch you with a crouching heavy punch from the right distance, he can get some insane damage output out of that. Now in addition to all of this, if Ken have V-Trigger 2, any touch can be cancelled into Shinryuken, and that could lead to a lot of damage depending on how much he's willing to spend. The key here is that Ken gets rewarded on everything. Akuma is obviously really fast. He is only slower than Sakura, and he does have all of the traditional Shoto toolkit, plus a bunch of other options like the demon flips and the dive kick, the aerial fireball and all of that stuff, but it comes at the cost of having lower vitality. Now when it comes to his fireballs, they are slightly weaker than Ken's now, and obviously weaker than Ryu. They do have the benefit of maybe knocking down the opponent if they hit from a specific range, and he have a back heavy punch which is a fantastic anti-air, but you can't really use it in fireball traps or acid last second anti-air, and he doesn't get DP Oki. Now when it comes to whiff punishes, Akuma is obviously very strong. He has the standing medium kick. This is a fabulous whiff punish button, 5 frames, really long, cancels into a bunch of other stuff, so you can convert from that into whatever you want for a variety of knockdowns, and you can also get a lot depending on how much you're willing to spend. You also have standing heavy punch, which is fantastic and decently fast as well, does lead to knockdown and Oki. The thing about Akuma is that his fundamentals are really powerful, but he also have a bunch of other approach options and mix-up options like the Demon Flip and the Fireball. I think the other factors that really matters in who is a good character in Street Fighter V is having really good corner carry, having good corner pressure, having the ability to switch sides with the opponent, and simply having light attacks that can be comboed into a knockdown and have the ability to pressure afterwards. And I do think all 4 of these characters do that to a fairly good extent. So with all of that being said, I think I'm ready to tell you who I believe to be the strongest character, and that is Ken. And now before we all go crazy, first let me tell you that I think all 4 of these characters are awesome, competitively viable and totally playable. We're talking about small margins here, right? But the main reason that I think that Ken is the best is that he's the one that gets rewarded consistently and doesn't have any major drawbacks. Now, I'm talking obviously about the professional environment, about the environment where players are able to whiff punish consistently, about to hit confirm consistently, because that is what's going on right now. Most of the players are migrating to PC. You'll see these tournaments with the super high refresh rate monitors, and everyone is playing the ultra clean whiff punish and spacing game, and that is where Ken really shines. I think when you take a look at the bigger picture, you will see that Ken is the most well equipped to deal with the most variety of situations. For example, let's say you're fighting someone who have really powerful fireball zoning. Sakura will struggle because she can't keep up in the fireball wars and her anti-fireball tools aren't fantastic. But Ken have a good fireball to contest with in the fireball, or at least better, and he have good anti-fireball tools thanks to his V-Trigger 2, his heavy punch uppercut, and the Air EX Tatsu. Now let's say we're talking about the complete opposite. You're fighting someone where you can't throw fireballs yourself. Then you'll have to play a pressure and whiff punish game. Against these guys, Ryu will struggle because he doesn't have good enough knockdowns that he can get from his whiff punishing. He doesn't get rewarded as much as Ken does, and can have faster walk speed and better normal for whiff punishing to boot. And when you compare him to Akuma, Ken doesn't share the low vitality HP issue. This means that he can have more chances. Pretty much means that Ken is more consistent. And he also have really good things about him, like his screen control. One Ken combo will send you to the corner, and if he throws you backwards, he will throw you to the corner. Ken's back throw is criminally underrated. It's honestly one of the best moves in the game. And obviously you have to consider other aspects as well, such as his amazing defense, because Ken is the scariest character in the game when he's on defense, because EXDB could lead to a V-Trigger cancel, and if he happened to land it even without that, he does get to pressure you afterwards. Like I said, Ken gets rewarded after everything, and that is why in my opinion he is the current strongest Shoto in Street Fighter V. And obviously it's all very subjective. Akuma is still very close in my opinion, but for now I do think Ken is overall the most consistent. If you have enjoyed this video, please leave a like or a comment, it helps the channel so much. I will be leaving a link to the Patreon page and the Discord server page in the description below. Thank you very much for watching and stay safe.